everyone! In today's tutorial, I'll show you how to crochet this puff flower bag. I hope you will enjoy this video, and if you do, don't forget to hit subscribe, like this video, and let's get into it. And to make this bag, you will need a double knit yarn, so one color for the center and as many colors as you want. I will be doing 3 different colors for the flowers, then 3.5mm hook, scissors, needle, and some stitch markers. And to start off, you will need to grab your yarn for the center, grab the tail, wrap it around 2 fingers, making an X like this, grab your hook, put that behind the first one, and grab the second one. That's gonna be your magic circle. Then you want to chain 1 to secure it in place. And now inside that ring you will be working 12 single crochets. So you want to put your hook inside, grab your yarn, and pull through 2 loops. One more time, go into the ring, yarn over and come back, yarn over and pull through 2. And repeat this until you have 12 single crochets inside. Once that's done, you want to pull onto the tail and close the ring, just like so. Find your first single crochet, put your hook in, and do a slip stitch. Chain 1, and cut off your current color. Grab new color and your ring. You want to turn it wrong side up so that you have it on the wrong side while working your petals. Put your hook into any of those single crochets, and I like to do it on the right side from the tail you finished off so that you can kind of hide this tail while doing your stitches. Then you want to wrap your new color, pull it through that stitch, and chain 3. And you want to do your chains a bit looser so that your petal is a bit bigger basically. But yeah, once you've got your chain, you want to yarn over, go into that same stitch, yarn over and come back, pull those loops high, just like so, yarn over and pull through 2. You want to repeat this 2 more times into that same stitch, and this is called unfinished double crochet. So one more time, yarn over, go into that same stitch, pull up a loop, pull it high, and yarn over, pull through 2. One more time, yarn over, go into that same stitch, pull up a loop, pull it high, and pull through 2. So that's 3 unfinished double crochets. Now you want to do another 3 into the next stitch. And you will have 7 loops on your hook. Then you want to yarn over and pull through all 7, chain 3, and do a slip stitch into that second single crochet. And that's one of your petals done now. You will need to repeat this until you have 6 of them, so just to show you one more time, chain 3, and 3 unfinished double crochets into the next stitch. Again, 3 unfinished double crochets in the next one. You will have 7 loops, yarn over, pull through all, chain 3, and do a slip stitch into that same single crochet. and that is a wrong side of your work. So if you turn that, you'll see that you've got 2 petals. Now you will need to repeat this another 4 times until you come all around and you have 6 petals in total. So just to show you one more time, you want to chain 3, do 3 unfinished double crochets into the next, pulling your loops as high as you can. Do 3 unfinished double crochets in the next one. Until you have 7 loops. Yarn over, pull through all, chain 3, and do a slip stitch into that same single crochet. So repeat that 3 more times. If you need, replay it, but I'll see you at the end on how to join it. And I just finished my 6th petal. I'm gonna chain 3, then join it into that same single crochet. It's not very much visible, but it's just my last single crochet. I'm gonna go into that stitch, pull up a loop, do a slip stitch, and then chain 1 to secure. You can then cut your yarn, pull it through, and now you will need to hide the last tail that you have and the initial one. These ones I have hidden them under my stitches, so I can simply cut them off. And now using my needle, I will be hiding these tails. I'm just gonna feed the yarn through my needle. And what I will be doing is basically going under these double crochets into one way, and then back the other way, just to make sure that it's secure. Now you want to pull that ring to close one more time, as it might be pulled out while doing petals. And repeat the same thing by going into that ring one way as well as the other. So let me just do that. I'm going under those single crochets in one direction, and then I'm just gonna change my way and go back as well. You can then cut the tails off. And this is how your puff flower will look like. Now I will put up on the screen the layout of the flowers, as well as how many you need to make of each color, both for the handle and the main bag. Now it doesn't all fit in the shot, unfortunately. I hope that the visual that I will be putting will be helpful as well, but basically once you've got all of your flowers, you will now need to join them together. So what I have now is for the bag itself, and as you can see, I tried to put them in a layout, and there are 2 ways you can do this. So you can either sew them by hand, or you can go with the slip stitches and chains. So the main points you will need to be joining is basically these 2 flowers will be joined by 2 petals, then these 2 with the 2 petals, these 2, and so on. I have marked the visual with an X of the points where it needs to be sewn together to fit into this layout, but if you put your flowers first row, 2 petals with 2 petals, then you will have your second row, kind of the flower in the middle of these 2. And if you put this flower that way, you can see that these 2 petals will be joined with these 2, and these two with these two. So this middle petal of one flower will be kind of joined together in 3. And the same with this one, same with this one, and so on. So I'll start joining my flowers from these 2 rows first, and I will move my way up. So I just grab this first and second row. I will grab my yarn, which basically can be any of the ones you used. I'm gonna be using this pink one. Then you want to grab your hook, and you want to grab your first 2 flowers, put them together, right sides in, and I'm just gonna be basically going into the first petal on both, through the middle. I will grab my tail and pull it through. Then chain 1 to secure it in place, and I'm just gonna go in one more time and do a slip stitch just to make sure that it's secure. Now, in order to join these 2 petals, you kind of want to chain 2. At least this is the distance between these petals for me. It might be slightly different for you, but you want to do that chain because you don't want your pattern to scrunch up or your flowers basically bunching up. So I did a chain of 2, and I'm going into the next petal to do a slip stitch. Like this. So if you fold it over, you'll see how it looks. Let me just lay it flat. And then the next thing to do is to grab your third flower, which is the first one on a second row of mine, and this is where it will be placed. So it will be joined with these 2 and these 2 with these 2 basically. So I'm just gonna fold it over. I'm gonna chain 2 again, grab the flower, and basically this petal and this petal will be joined with the 2 of the blue. So I'm just gonna go through the first petal of mine, through one of them on the second flower, and I'll do a slip stitch, chain 2 to move my way to the second petal, and I'm gonna go through both petals on both flowers with a slip stitch. And if you see any tension in between, that means that you might not be chaining enough. Try 3 instead and see how it looks. And now I need to join this petal with this one and this one with this one, so I basically need to make my way back to this one. So I'm gonna chain 2, go into this same petal of the blue flower, and then straight into this one here. I'll do a slip stitch, then chain 2 again, and do the same with the second petal. Just like so. And if I lay it flat, let me just pull up my hook. This is how it will look. So it is a lot of chaining in between, but you kind of have to figure the distance between the next 2 petals you need to join, and that's pretty much it. And the reason we are doing those chains is basically just to prevent from having a lot of tails. So if you don't want to go ahead with the chain method, you would need to keep cutting off your yarn, move to the next spot you need to join, and hide the tails. Or you could also use a needle and kind of sew, making your way with the needle and yarn, making sure that that extra yarn stays on the wrong side without cutting it off. But yeah, that's pretty much it, how it's joined together. So my next step would be now to grab this flower of the second row I have here and join it in this spot. So let me just go ahead, grab that flower, and it will basically be joined with these 2 and these 2. And don't forget, this middle petal of this flower that you are next joining is basically in the middle here. So it will be joined with these two, and this one with this one with this. Now you want to fold it on the wrong side, and I am in this spot here, so I don't need to chain any because I'm already on this petal. I'm gonna go through both of them and make a slip stitch. Then chain 2 and join the next two petals together by going through the middle of it, then the same on the second flower, and then slip stitch. And as you can see, I joined these two, and now I'm gonna join these two. So again, I'm just gonna turn over, do a chain of 2, fold it in half, and this petal goes with this one. So do your slip stitch and into this one. So chain 2, put your hook through the first petal, through the second one, and do a slip stitch. So I'm just gonna pull it high and show you how it looks. This tail we will be hiding in later, but basically you move your way up and join these petals along. So now the next flower would be this one. I will place it in here, do the same like I did here. Then the next one is there, this one, and I eventually will make my up here. So let me just join these two, and I will show you how to join upcoming row of flowers. And now once you've got your 2 rows done, this is how it will look like. Then you want to grab your next row of flowers, just like I have here. So I have it laid out and I'm just grabbing row by row. But initially, you probably already seen, but you're doing this row, then this row, and you just basically repeat. So this row is next up again. I have it here, and it will be placed like so. So it's exactly the same as your first one, so you can always look back. But yeah, I'm just gonna grab the top one now because my hook is at the very top, and you will be doing the same exact thing, just moving down. So this flower is gonna go in the middle of here. Let me just show you. These 2 petals joined with these, and these 2 with these. So again, I'm just gonna fold it together. I will need to chain. So let me just grab my yarn. And what I need to do is basically I need to make my way to this petal. So keep chaining until you reach that. And I did 5 chains. I'm gonna go through this petal now. I'm gonna grab the flower, make sure it's right sides in, and go through one of the petals on your second flower to slip stitch it together. Then chain 2. And do the same with the next petal. So just go in and do a slip stitch. And then I need to join these together. So again, I will chain 2, go through one flower, then through another one to do a slip stitch. And then the next thing you want to do is grab your next flower, which is gonna be placed in here. And what you will need to do is to join these 4, and then these 4. So I'm gonna do mine, and I will also come back to show you how to join it by sewing. I will be using that method for my handle. So let me finish this, and I will come back to show you if you prefer on how to sew it. And once you're done joining it together, this is how it should look. Now you will need to fold it right sides in so that you have wrong side out, and just basically join this last row. So if you fold it like so, you'll see that these flowers will fit just like any other rows you did. So I'm just gonna grab my hook again. I haven't finished off yet, so I'm just gonna continue with those chains. and slip stitches. And I'm gonna start right from the top. And once you finish joining that last row, you want to fold it in half so that you have that last seam on the side basically. And now you want to have one row that has this flower here and one row that doesn't. So basically this one row is going to be your one side and this one is going to be your other side. And if you fold the bottom of your bag, you will see that these flowers will line up to form a base of your bag. So let me just quickly put the stitch markers in and I'll show you how it will look like. But you will basically be joining blue with blue, then pink in the middle, and again it's gonna be blue with blue, again this one in the middle, and just so on. And as you can see, my blue matches with blue, then there is a pink in the middle, and again blue with blue, and so on. So you will just need to line them together and join, and I'm still going to use the chain and slip stitch method going along. But yeah, basically if you fold it in half, it should fit pretty much like so. And I just joined the first 3 flowers for the base just to show you. So as you can see, this one is going to be in the middle, and then you will be joining these blue ones. So just to show you one more time, it's going to be the same exact repeat. So this flower falls in here and the blue one falls in there. So I'm just going to join the first petal with this one. I'll chain 2, and then I will be joining second petal with the blue one as well. Just like so. Then you want to join these 2 together with these 2. Chain 2 and go to the second petal. Now these 2 with this one. And lastly, these 2 with these 2, so blue with blue. So I'm just gonna go into that first petal, chain 2, into the second one. And this is what you will need to repeat one more time. So as you can see, it kind of repeats itself. So it's again the pink flower and 2 blues together. And once you come to the end, all you left to do is to join these 4 petals together. So I'm just gonna go into this first one, chain 2, and into this next one here. So that's the very side of the bag. You want to chain 1 to finish off. Leave a bit of a tail so that we can hide this later on. And your sides will be looking like this. So you can now fold it inside out, and you will see that this one side of the bag has this flower here, and then there's no flower. So this is where your handle will be joined. It's gonna start from this flower here and end up all the way here. If you turn it over, it's the exact same thing. It's just that the flower is on the left hand side. But yeah, you can grab it either way and grab your flowers for the handle. And I have my flowers here for the handle, so it's 9 in total, 3 of each. And what I will be doing for the handle is I'm gonna use my needle and some yarn. So I have that here, and I will start from this side. So I'm just gonna pull it inside out once again, so I'm working from the wrong side. Just like so. And my next flower that goes there is this one, because I've got light pink here, so it's this one that comes next. And if you did want to sew them together, I'll show you how to do this. So you basically go into the first petal of these two flowers. I'm just trying to find the end. I'm gonna tie them up together so I don't lose it, and I will basically hide this later on. But yeah, then you want to make your way to the second petal, and it is a bit more time consuming, but I'm doing this for the handle so that I don't have those chains on the wrong side, because the handle is the part where it can be quite visible. So yeah, I prefer to sew this part. And that's one flower done. And now to join the new flower, what you want to do is to weave your yarn all the way to this petal that it's joined with. So it's slightly less visible, but yeah, then you want to grab your next flower, right sides in, and do the same of sewing those two petals together. And I like to go few times so that it's extra secure, because it is a handle, so it's gonna probably have a lot of weight and you will be holding it by that, so you just want to make sure that you sew it extra securely. Then you want to make your way up to the second petal, sew that together as well. And there's nothing wrong if you want to do this by doing slip stitches and chains. But yeah, just like so, you will be going in and sewing those flowers. So I have 9 flowers for my handle, but you can increase this to make it longer by adding multiples of 3 flowers. But yeah, I'm just gonna continue with that, and I will meet you at the end. And once you're done joining your handle, you want to lay it flat, find the correct spot, which would be 7th flower row, counting from this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you will basically just be repeating the same thing you did before. So I'm just gonna make my way through the flower to the top petal. And then just sew the last flower of the handle to the bag. Again, I'm just going a couple of times to make sure it's secure. Then making my way to the side. And doing the same with the second petal. Once you're done with attaching that to the bag, you will need to hide the tail in. So I'm just gonna go into that petal a couple of times in multiple directions to make sure that tail is secure. Once you're done hiding it in, you can just cut it off. Then repeat the same with any other tails that you have. And once you've hidden all the tails, this is how it should look. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to hit subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you in my next one.